You mind if I feel that? Yeah. I'm not going to run with it. There might be a couple bricks in there or something.
It feels like it sometimes when it hits you.
Wow. It's all dented up. Look at that. How many skulls have hit this, Dolph?
Honestly, a couple times on live events that's been me on the receiving end accidentally. But
sit down. Relax.
It's still mine, so who cares?
All right, my man, Dolph, you had a rough night last night.
Really?
I was just saying to Dolph, you guys didn't see this. I was watching, as were a lot of you guys, the pay-per-view last night, and I'm sitting there, and as much as I love WWE, I'm saying, and I love doing this, I have to get up early in the morning. And I'm thinking that my girlfriend looks at me and says, you have to get up. Look at the guy in the ring. And I go, oh, yeah, that's pretty selfish. So we're really happy to have you here promoting Raw tonight at Wells Fargo Center. But really, honestly, how do you feel? Like any injuries coming out of last night's match?
Yeah, I something knee-wise, and I got a big gash in the side of my leg from one of the tables I went through. I'm not sure which one, but I have some bandages on there. Once we get out of here, I got to go get changed at a doctor. So, yeah, don't try this at home, please. But I had a blast last night, and I once again won my own Money in the Bank contract.
I think a lot of people were nervous about that. Some people were happy if Cena would win, but I think a lot of people that I talked to, at least guys coming in here, this guy right here was telling me, he said that he thought that Cena was going to take it, and he was really upset if it didn't happen. So it's good that you came out on top because, I mean, Cena, he's had many title shots.
Not only has he had it, I thought, okay, when I beat him tonight, when I show up at Raw, they go, okay, John Cena, you get another chance. Go ahead. Because we kind of did that with my Money in the Bank contract this time. If Vince wants to have him have another shot, he's going to have it. So the more I beat him, the more it's going to have to take him out of my picture and away from my Money in the Bank contract.
Well, I will tell you, too, that and I'm thinking everybody will agree, Eddie, too, last night's match with John Cena was probably, I mean, crowd-wise reaction, it was insane. It was off the charts. I can't imagine what it was like to be out there. And I think it was one of the best matches we've seen on WWE TV, pay-per-view in a long time. We saw a lot out of Cena because you were fighting him so bad. He made it pull some new stuff out of his repertoire last night.
Right. Actually, I was watching the rest of that show backstage, and, man, there were some crazy matches. That TLC match was amazing to watch, and just being out there and listening to that crowd, a sellout, not just going, let's go Cena, Cena sucked, but cheering me. I don't want him to cheer me. I don't care. I'm a bad guy. But knowing that it's WWE.
He's honest.
I don't want it. I don't need it.
You hear that?
That's the cool thing about the WWE Universe. When they get involved, that means they care. They're interested in our story, in our match. They want somebody to win. And the fact that we could have them that loud 3.5 hours later, they'd seen a pre-show and 3 hours of show, and to go out there and steal it like we did, was one of the greatest nights of my life.
Of course.
Now, with you being Mr. Money in the Bank, what is your strategy when you go to cash that in? Hopefully you do it tonight in Philly.
You know what? That's the cool thing. It could be any night. It could be a live event. It could be a television taping. It could be a Monday Night Raw tonight. Here's the strategy. This is what this was made for. The world champ has to look over his shoulder every single night, no matter what. It's big show, so that's real tricky for me. But anytime he is down and out, and like previous pay-per-views when he's been laid out, it was nowhere near a ring, and I'm not going to be able to drag a 500-pound guy into a ring somehow by his arm. I mean, I probably could, but I don't want to waste all my core strength. I need it for when I'm pinning him. So the fact that once he's laid out, like I said earlier, I'm a bad guy. I want to win this the cheapest, sleaziest way possible. When someone is out cold, asleep, and I can walk in there and stand on his chest and count to 3, I will do it because that's what I want to be remembered for.
Wow. Wow.
It's the reason this was created for that. I'm not going to be John Cena. Hey, everybody, I'm going to try and outshine everybody at the 1000th Raw, letting you know I'm cashing in. How'd that work out for him, by the way?
That didn't make much sense.
Didn't work out.
Don't worry, you got another chance.
You're a smart guy in the ring, outside the ring, and you're also a sharp dresser. I mean, you look great.
I stole your V-neck style, but
But no, for real. I wonder, like, when you wear the hot pink and stuff, I mean, you get out, you don't just wear that at the shows. You're wearing it now, obviously.
Oh, yeah, no, that's my thing. My whole life I like standing out. I want everyone to notice me. I want the spotlight on me. That's why I'm so good at WWE, at being a great superstar. And I always try and find different ways to be different in this business with so many guys who are so good. So many people on the roster, so many superstars are so good at this. And it's just finding a niche, finding a way to stand out. And I love what you see on screen, if anything, is a turned down version of me at home.
Turned down.
Down.
Wow.
Yes.
But you talk about, trying to, be different from the other superstars, but a lot of people make comparisons between yourself, Mr. Perfect, Ric Flair. Talk about just, people comparing you to such great Hall of Fame superstars.
That's amazing because being a fan of this business since I was 5 years old, hearing those names and mine in the same sentence is mind-blowing. But no matter who you are, where you are, or what moves you do, you'll always be compared to somebody somehow. And the fact that it's like, oh, you're just like this guy, you're just like this guy. Hey, weren't those guys Hall of Famers? Weren't those guys for 20 years the best around? Oh, they were? Oh, that sucks being compared to them, right? I'm not trying to be them. I just happen to be really good like they were.
Excellent answer.
I have too big of an ego to want to be a second best somebody else. I want to be me, and I love it.
And that's what makes you. I think that's what makes you an even bigger star. Because a lot of people might want to be somebody else. They dream to be somebody else. It seems like you've never dreamt about being anybody but you, and that's where your success comes from. That's at least my belief.
Yeah, I see it the same way. I go, I want to be the best ever when this is done. I don't want to be like, hey, Dolph Ziggler was really good. He was almost like Shawn and almost like Flair. I look up to all those guys because they were ring generals and great at what they do. And when they went out there to steal the show, they did it. And I think that I follow. I want to be the main event every night. And if I'm not, my match will be treated as such because it's going to be that good.
Now, you say that you've been a fan since you're, 5 years old?
5 years old, yeah.
When you were growing up, I mean, who was one of your favorites? Like, which actually, let's shift this. Not only your favorite, but what was your first memory? A lot of guys have a first memory of watching.
Very first memory is I grew up in Cleveland, and we didn't have an arena, so we drove out to Richfield, and it was about an hour away out of Cleveland, and I went and saw the main. I don't remember too much. It was the Hart Foundation versus the British Bulldogs in a steel cage match. And the main event was Harley Race versus Hulk Hogan. And as a kid, that's all I remember. I got a couple still photos in my head, and that's all I remember. And I told my dad, I was 5 years old, I go, I want to wrestle. And about maybe 3 weeks later, I started wrestling.
And really? You started doing the amateur stuff, right?
Amateur stuff,
killed it.
one and 2 nights a week at 5, but I've been wrestling my whole life, through high school, through college, everything.
Wow. All right. Hey, you want to open up for some questions, Eddie?
Absolutely.
Does anybody have any questions for Dolph? Oh, we got one.
I knew he was going to say something. You could tell.
Hold on.
You mentioned, I was reading that too, about being a fan since you were 5, and these guys mentioned some great wrestlers, but how much do you get compared to Billy Gunn as well?
All the time. But I get Mr. Perfect all the time too, and Billy Gunn was Attitude Era, and a couple years ago, I related to that guy. Everyone else is wearing black tights. He's doing the opposite. Everyone else is doing okay matches. He's super athletic, doing really cool stuff. I go, this guy's great. I love it.
A lot of the moves,
so it's like,
and the
it's like
and the shake.
Yeah, but a lot of people, it's like, sometimes they go, oh, you guys have the same hair, so you're just like Mr. Perfect or Billy Gunn. Like, come on, man, haircut.
Right.
Well, you look like Stone Cold Steve Austin, then, right? So it's like that's how it goes. But I was a huge fan, still am. Billy Gunn, he was jacked. He's wearing cool outfits. I'm thinking about it. He's awake. I don't want to. It's not worth trying and failing.
Any other questions for Dolph? Anybody have questions? My man.
Who's your favorite person? Who's your favorite person in WWE?
In WWE? Wow. Wait, you go first, and I'll think. Who's your favorite person?
You.
Really? I love your honesty. I really do. It's a lot of people suck up to other people, and I like that you've stayed true to yourself, and no matter what, at the end of the day, you can look yourself in the mirror and know you did the right thing. Do you know what I mean? I was going to say me, too. But there's a couple guys you might not see on TV all the time, like a Tyson Kidd or an Alex Riley, and I really like those guys. There's so many superstars who love what they do and want to be out there every night. And I usually root for an underdog or someone who doesn't get that exposure that you see all the time. So Tyson Kidd, Alex Riley, Kofi Kingston's fun to watch, fun to be in the ring with. I guess that's it. My favorites besides myself.
All right. My man over here, you have a question too? Yeah.
All right, past and present, if you could, who would you wrestle, like on the current roster as well as, from back in the day, like anybody?
1997 Shawn Michaels in an Iron Man match.
Wow, yeah, that'd be
Current roster, I've kind of wrestled everybody. I've never been in the ring one-on-one with a Triple H or an Undertaker, but, I've been in the ring with almost everybody else. Right now, current roster, full-time? for those guys that show up once a year. I gotta go with, man, Cena was what I was looking forward to on a big event, and that was last night. I mean, I think the next thing somehow, if Undertaker has more matches in him, man, I'd love to be out there with him just to hear his entrance while I'm waiting for him. You know, I think it'd be worth it. Yeah, try. I mean, I happened to win the last 2 pay-per-views somehow, so anything can happen.
Has there ever been a time, you're talking about being out there to feel his entrance and see it. Have you, as a fan, you know, you grew up watching this, has there been a time where you've been out there and you're kind of, you know, you're intense, you know what you have to do, but you're lost in it and you go, wow, like this, you kind of like a flashpoint. You go, how did I get here?
That's happened several different times. A long time ago in a different lifetime when I was a cheerleader, I happened to be in the ring. I don't know if we were overseas, and it was Triple H or a Shawn Michaels, or even at the time Ric Flair was in the mix with those guys, and just being somewhere and it was like DX coming back or Triple H's music, and I'm in the ring and a sellout of 22,000 people blow the roof off, and you go, oh, I was just about to do the same thing. I remember doing this at home, and it's like, oh, right, I got to go beat this guy or try and beat him anyway, and there's so many moments like that. Last night, just that crowd reaction last night, that's what we work for and live for and feed off. And, man, that was cool last night.
It sure was. Anybody else? Questions for Mr. Dolph Ziggler? Mr. Money in the Bank. Oh, he's got another one. The Dolph Ziggler fan has another one.
I love it.
Do you think you would win against Ryback?
Ryback? I don't know that anyone in a fair one-on-one match, I don't know that anyone could beat Ryback right now. And I'm waiting to see if he gets another shot at CM Punk. And I thought when they did the Hell in the Cell match, I thought he was going to be the new World Heavyweight Champion, or WWE Champion, I'm sorry. But right now, one-on-one, I don't know that anyone can beat him. I mean, I'd find a way, man.
What is your all-time favorite match? The greatest match that you've been involved in, the greatest match that you've seen?
Man, last night was a life-changing experience for me until last night. 2 Royal Rumbles ago, me and Edge had a World Heavyweight Championship match, and Edge was someone that I used to ride with, and he was a mentor of mine, and I got to pick his brain for about 2 years on the road. I got to ride with him, and eventually, you know, we went our separate ways and became not friends. But that match was special to me because it was so great. And once again, the crowd was great. Just the WWE fans are so loyal. They want to see a great match. They enjoyed it. And I think that one was another like 30-minute match where the crowd was on the edge of their seat every single time. And that was great. And watching personally, being with WWE, the very first Shawn Michaels Undertaker match was the coolest thing I've ever seen live. And I watched it as a fan backstage. That is the best thing I've ever been a part of watching, I think.
All right, go ahead, Eddie.
I was asking, what's the best compliment that you've ever received from like a superstar now, or one of the legends?
That's actually as good as it gets. Like, you can Google yourself and have people compare you or say you suck or whatever. Or this one smart kid who says how great you are or whatever. But when it comes down to it, when we have legends come back to a show, or if you see a Ric Flair in the airport and he goes, "Man, I really like what you do," and that's it. You just happen to shake his hand, say hi, and you go, "Did Ric Flair just say he likes what I do? Are you kidding me?" I've had Mick Foley come back, Shawn Michaels. When those guys come back and they come over to you and anything they say is cool, and it's like, "Hey, how's it going?" Or it's like, "Hey, it was great last night," and they just walk away and you go, "You watched my match?" Like, that's as good as it gets. And we constantly have like legends coming in and out, and there's so many people behind the scenes that don't like to be mentioned because they're out there helping us every day. And when those guys and your peers in the back say how good nothing is better than that.
I think before we wrap this up, I want to know what Dolph Ziggler's Christmas plans are. What are you doing for Christmas, man? You celebrate? What are you doing?
I'm going to ice my entire body. And so I'm going back to Cleveland, so I might just be able to do that in the yard in the snow, I'm hoping. I'm going to relax. I've been nonstop. We don't have an off season. We're going to finally have maybe 3.5 days off just to relax. And I just like to sit at home, check out my parents' dogs, and read a book on the couch or something, listen to Christmas music, because I've been going nonstop and enjoying every minute of it and rest up and be ready for the new year.
All right, so you have some time off. That's good to hear. But tonight, it's all about WWE Raw, Wells Fargo Center. And, I mean, what do you have in store for tonight, Dolph? What can we see after last night's huge pay-per-view?
I'm assuming John Cena's going to want to come out and complain and be like, oh, he'll make a bunch of like, oh, cool 80s references that some of you guys will get, and the kids will pretend to get it, and then under his breath, this guy got screwed out of it. Should I get another chance? Uncle Vince is a cool fight. Yeah, okay, give me another. So who knows? Maybe I'm defending this again. I don't know. But he'll have to say something because that's what he does. He comes out and he's still the franchise guy of the WWE, so he'll have something to say. I'm curious to see what AJ's going to say. I don't understand what her motives were last night.
Yeah, I thought you two were going to make out last night. I was excited.
When she was staring at me, I was like,
yeah,
oh,
something. You should have gone for it, dude.
Later on,
I would have gone for it.
If I get that look any other time, deal sealed. But it's like, I honestly didn't know what she was doing out there, and so hopefully she has some kind of explanation. And of course, the Slammies are tonight, which I'm excited about because I'm due to win another something. So
you're not going to put them right in your briefcase. You're not going to carry all this stuff around.
I do.
But we look forward to it. We hope you stay safe after last night especially. But Dolph Ziggler, nothing but a bright future ahead of you. I think everyone would agree with that. And it's a pleasure to have you stop by, especially this guy. It's a pleasure to have you stop by here at Mix 106 and Power 99. We appreciate it, man.
Great. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, guys, we're going to do a little meet and greet here in a minute. So hang tight, and then they'll come in and they'll follow you out in a line for the meet and greet right outside the door. So you get some pictures. You want to take pictures with these people?
Yes, let's do it.